Short stories, episode 2. Short stories, episode 2. Action. Short stories, episode 2. Let's talk about short stories. They are my favorite. Get over here! Hey pals, Alicia here. I hope you are doing well. And if you're new here, this is the place where we talk about books. Today I am here to bring to you episode 2 in my short story recommendations videos. A couple of months ago I did episode 1 where I just recommend 5 short story collections that I love, that I thought were great, and that I think more people should read. So I will link episode 1 up above, and this is episode 2. It's just meant to be an ongoing series because I love short stories, I love reading collections, and I just want to parse them out to you over time. These are in no particular order of favorite to least favorite. I wouldn't be recommending them if I didn't love them. Coincidentally, these all happen to be horror short story collections. I don't exclusively read horror, I don't exclusively read horror short story collections, but it just seems that at this time and place in my life, horror is where the heart is. Horror is where the home is. So let's just get into some of those short stories. First up, we've got Coyote Songs by Gabino, Iglesias. This is an interconnected horror short story collection. These are all stories that are surrounding the US-Mexico border and the kind of horrors that exist in that reality. This mixes supernatural, it mixes gods with very real horror. So these stories are interconnected in the sense that they are all taking place at that area, at that place in time, but they don't actually intersect from one story to the next. Gabino Iglesias is brutal and violent, but honest and realistic in his stories. They are designed to kind of open your eyes, open your heart, make you acknowledge what is going on, but it is never going to make you feel good. It's kind of just like a bunch of slaps being like, wake up, listen, this is happening to real people are dying here, real people are being tortured here, and he brings a real voice and a real rage and a justified anger to that situation. Reading this was kind of like having cold water splashed all over your face while you were sleeping, and it just, I would definitely recommend, and I would like to check out more from him. Just, yeah, lots of content warnings. His writing is very abrupt, it's very brutal, it's very visceral, but I absolutely loved this collection. Next up, we've got Dark Water by Koji Suzuki. Koji Suzuki is the creator of the Ring franchise, Ring series, and I absolutely loved it. Dark Water is a collection for fans of Yoko Ogawa. If you love Yoko Ogawa, it's kind of quiet, creeping, but then also very like severe and grim storytelling. Dark Water is great. Dark Water is a collection that is all surrounding themes of water. I believe there was a horror movie about the title story Dark Water. I remember the movie not being very good, but the story itself was good. This is one of those collections where I didn't think there were any bad stories in it, but there were some that were stronger than others, but no duds in the mix. There's one story in here called The Hold that is about a commercial fisherman who is on just an absolute downward spiral, and I still think about that story all the time. Like, it is a haunting story. There is also one called Forest Under the Sea that is about caving, and that is claustrophobic as shit. If you love a little bit of survival horror, that one's in here for you. But yeah, this collection is all surrounding themes of water one way or another. A few of them are on the ocean, but some of them just have themes of water in them. And I live on an island surrounded by ocean, surrounded by water, and I am terrified as shit of the ocean. Open water horrifies me. Dark water horrifies me. Like, I do not like being on boats on dark water. Don't even get me near dark water. The ocean is one of my greatest fears, and I'm surrounded by it every waking moment of my life. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to look at. It's beautiful to look at, but get me away. And the thing that I love about Koji Suzuki in this collection in particular is that he is able to describe extremely terrifying scenarios and extremely haunting ideas without any graphic or explicit exposition. So he's like the opposite of Gabino and Iglesias, if that makes sense. There's no brutal writing, there's no like visceral scenes, but you still come out of it absolutely horrified, or at least I did. I highly recommend this collection. Next up, a bit of a recent read. I've got Song for the Unraveling World by Brian Evenson. I absolutely loved this short story collection, and I feel like I've raved about it before, but spoiler alert, we're here to do it again. So Brian Evenson's short story collection. This is a very generous collection. There's around 20 short stories in here, and Brian Evenson weaves supernatural horror and reality in a very disturbing way. He loves to focus on characters who have something going on. There's a lot of paranoia, doubt, dread, kind of downward spiral, inward spirals going on in his stories, and they're just very disquieting and creepy, and just make you think, and also make you very disturbed. There were 3 stories in this collection that were just like absolutely 10 out of 10 exceptional short stories. They were called Sisters, Room Tone, and Disappearance. I think about those stories all the time. I've actually reread those 3 short stories again since having read this collection. I absolutely love Brian Evenson. He is quickly becoming one of my favorite authors, and this was my first of his short stories collections, and I am just now here to collect the rest of his work and check him out. Big recommend for A Song for the Unraveling World. Next up, we've got Things We Lost in the Fire by Mariana and Enriquez. This is a collection of gothic literary short stories, all set in contemporary Argentina. There is a mix of supernatural horror in this collection, gothic literature, and kind of like a mix of folk tale, urban legend meets just absolute brutal reality and horror. I remember the first story in this collection like really sets the tone for the collection. The first story is about a woman who finds a decapitated child on her doorstep. So it is horrifying, and I kind of remember reading it with like a rock in my stomach. It just really, her stories really bring you to a grim place. It also talks a lot about the turmoil and unrest that is happening in Argentina and at the border, and I was not aware of much of what was going on, so it actually inspired a lot of research and a lot of learning, so that was really eye-opening as well. So yeah, this is definitely a collection that packs a brutal punch, but also with a lot of really beautiful language that really lingers off the page, across the page. Definitely one that will leave you thinking for a bit, and also make you feel a little ill, a little sad, a little sick, and a little tortured. Gotta love it. And last but not least for this list, we've got Cry Your Way Home by Damien Angelica Walters. This is a collection of 17 harrowing, disturbing, and beautiful short stories. To call this strictly a horror short story collection is a bit of a disservice to the collection. There are a lot of family drama stories in here, stories of grief, stories of loss, stories of trauma. She really kind of explores a really powerful and profound and painful emotions and how those can warp a perspective. So there is a lot of kind of supernaturally twists in these as well, but they're very they're all exploring deep emotions, and I really got a lot out of this. I found myself moved by this collection more than once, and often having to like put it down after reading a story just to let it simmer. Her writing is also very indulgent. So if you it's very kind of like lyrical and poetic. So I don't recommend reading this just like all in one sitting. I felt like I needed to kind of parse the stories out because each one was like a very rich slice of cake. So I just needed to digest it a bit after. I feel like if I had tried to read this all in once, it may have been a little bit, a little bit overwhelming, but parsed out as short stories, that is her medium, and she absolutely nails it. On my Goodreads review, there is a quote from one of these stories. I can't remember which one, but it says, there are many ways to drown, not all of them require water. And that is just kind of par for the course for this collection. So there you have it, pals. Here are 5 more short story collections, 5 more horror short story collections to add to your TBRs. Let me know if you have read any of these and what you thought. Let me know if you want to read any of these, and we can chat about them. I would love to chat about these books with you all. What are some of your favorite short story collections? What are some of your favorite short stories? My TBR short story collections is like 30 feet tall, but I just want to make it taller, and I want to add more to it. I want to climb that stack of books. So thanks again for being here, pals. I love talking about books with you all, and I love hanging out with you. You guys, every single one of you is a star. So until next time, I'll see you, pals. Get over here, books.